In this lesson we're going to continue our study of the boogie pattern in A by looking at several more variations. We're getting more variety, more little licks into the boogie pattern, licks that are almost lead guitar licks that you can throw in the middle of your rhythm patterns. Okay, now have your tab in front of you called Blues Shuffle with Variations, but the first little lick I'm going to show you is not actually written on the tab. That's because it's a very small variation on something we've already played. Do you remember a little while back we looked at the pattern where the ring finger goes off for only one pick of the strings, goes on rather for only one pick of the strings and then comes off again? This one. Remember that? A very small variation on that one is to hammer the ring finger on. A hammer-on is where we pick a note from a lower fret, in this case the 4th string 2nd fret, picked with the 5th string, and after picking that note we hammer a finger onto a higher fret. In this case we're going to hammer the ring finger onto the 4th string 4th fret, like this. In that way, one right hand pick generates 2 notes. That's called a hammer-on. So we can vary our original boogie pattern that we were just looking at a moment ago by playing this. There we're going 2 down strums on the normal A position. Then in a triplet rhythm, 2-ander, we're going to hit the original chord again, but hammer onto the 4th string 4th fret. Then take that ring finger off and hammer on back to the original A chord again. That's a triplet figure going 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and with 3 and 4 and simply repeating the same riff. So that's a slight variation on an earlier boogie pattern that we looked at. Another small variation on that is after playing the hammer-on, instead of going back to hit the 4th string and 5th string again, hit the 3rd string, generally with an up pick, like this. See the difference there? It's exactly the same as the previous one, except after the hammer-on, don't play strings 5 and 4, play string 3 with an up pick that may catch a little bit of string 4 as well. That's all good, nice chunky picking. Okay, those two not covered on your tab, but hopefully you can hear those just from us going through them like this. Now though, on the tab we're going to look at some little licks that we can insert into our boogie patterns. Let's take each bar on the page Blues Shuffle with Variations in turn and look at each one. The first bar sounds like this. Now that little lick at the end should be followed by another bar of, well, I'm going to say another bar of A, although I'll show you some variations on that too. You can put this bar anywhere where you would have played a bar of A in a normal 12-bar blues. Let me say that again because that's very important. You can play this bar in any bar of a 12-bar blues that's on the chord of A. It could be the very first bar, you know, just carrying on with the boogie pattern after it, or it could be the bar just before you go to the D chord. So anywhere you can play it that would be on an A chord. So what have we got here? The first 3 beats of the bar are our normal boogie pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and, but 4 and is a triplet figure, 5th string 3rd fret to 5th string 4th fret to 4th string 2nd fret, where our finger should already be. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and So I mentioned to you before that you can put that anywhere that you would play a bar of A on a 12-bar blues, and that's going to be true for all the 4 licks that are in the 4 bars of the first 2 lines of your tab. Okay, so any of these licks can be played anywhere in a 12-bar blues where you would normally play an A chord. Lick number 2 is bar 2 of your tab, and it's like this. I'm actually going to run this into bar 3 as well, because bars 2 and 3 really belong together as one lick. What we're doing there is we're inserting into our boogie pattern a full chord. At the moment we've played mostly 1-finger chords, for A, for D and for E. Now I'm going to introduce you to a full chord shape. The chord of A7 is this shape. 4th string 2nd fret, but play it, well, it doesn't really matter which finger, but I like to use the middle finger to play that. 4th string 2nd fret, which of course we played before, and 2nd string 2nd fret. Hold those 2 notes down together and just strum all the strings to have a listen to that sound. That's the full chord of A7. And we're going to use that chord in this lick. We start our boogie pattern normally. 1 and 2 and 3. On the and of 3, just hit the 5th string open, and while that string is ringing, be moving into our A7 shape. Except shift it back 1 fret to start it in the 1st fret. Can you see on your tab you've got the notes 3rd string open and 2nd string 1st fret, and then a line joining that to 3rd string open and 2nd string, 2nd fret of the 2nd string. That indicates a slide. We're going to pick strings 2 and 3, probably with an up pick. By the way, it doesn't matter if you get some other strings. Don't feel that you've got to be really precise with this. Once we've done it, we're going to slide it up 1 fret into the 2nd fret. Then we're going to hit the 5th string again, and again the up pick of the 2nd string chord. If you get the 1st string, that's okay. Because we're holding down a full chord shape, it doesn't matter what strings we get, they'll all sound good. So that little part of the lick going 4 and 1 is this. And it's followed by padding out the bar with our normal boogie pattern. Let me put those 2 bars back together again. Very slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and normal boogie pattern. Alright, think of those 2 bars as representing one lick altogether. So they can replace any 2 bars, 2 consecutive bars in a 12-bar blues over the chord of A. Then we've got one more, all under this heading of fill number 1. Bar 4 of that sounds like this. That needs to be followed by another bar, either of A or the point in the song where A goes to D. This is all in triplets. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and We're going to start with a hammer-on, remember those, from the open 3rd string to the 2nd fret. So 1 pick and then hammer the middle finger down to the 3rd string 2nd fret. That's 1 and on we're going to hit the 5th string. 1 and Remember that if you prefer, you can use your finger to play the 3rd string note. 1 and Then we repeat that exact thing. 2 and And the remaining 6 notes, 3 and 4 and are going to be a descending run. We're going to come down from the 3rd string 2nd fret to open. Now from the 4th string 2nd fret to 1st fret to open. And we'll finish this descending run on the 5th string, 3rd fret. The left hand fingers you use are very important here. Now that we're playing what is effectively a little bit of lead guitar for the first time, we want to assign one finger per fret. Your middle finger will take all notes on the 2nd fret, your index finger will take all notes on the 1st fret, and your ring finger will take all notes on the 3rd fret. Notice with the right hand too that I'm alternate picking. I'm picking down followed by up every time. Down, up, down, up, down, up. That's going to feel unnatural at first, and you're going to feel that you want to pick all downs. And I'm going to say to you, if you really want to, you can do that. But the earlier you can get in the habit of alternate picking, the better it's going to be for later on when we're playing some cool solos and you have to play passages exactly like this one, but faster. The ability to pick down, 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 well, it's much more difficult to pick down, down, down rapidly than it is to have the wrist just rock down, up, down, up. So try and get in the habit of alternate picking this early, it will help you. Okay, here's that final lick, or final lick of what we're calling fill number 1. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play through an imaginary 12-bar blues, except I'm going to stay just on the chord of A, so it's not really a 12-bar blues. I'm going to play the boogie pattern just staying on the chord of A, and I'm going to randomly throw in those licks at various times, and that's how you should practice it too. Get settled into one of the boogie patterns you've learned before that you feel comfortable with, and occasionally try and throw in one of these new licks, like this. That was the lick from bar 1. Next one will be bar 2's lick, and 3. We'll throw in bar 4's lick, and on we go again. Throw those licks in random orders. Basically, your objective is to get very comfortable, first of all, in learning those licks so that your fingers obtain the muscle memory to play them, and then feeling comfortable enough that over any jam track you can throw any one of those little variations, those licks, in whenever it occurs to you. These will become part of your library of licks that you just instinctively know and you can drop into when you're playing the rhythm part of a blues track. Okay, but we're not going to stop there. We've got a couple more that we can have a look at. Bar 5 of your tab, well, bars 5 and 6 together represent another lick, and this one sounds like this. Now that sounds, of course, as though it stopped in mid-air, and it has really. That should go back again to an A chord, and we continue with the boogie pattern. But there's quite a cool little lick in the middle there, quite a cool little fill in the middle there. Again, utilising more of a chord shape than our standard one-finger boogie patterns. We're going to start in the normal way. 1 and 2 and 3 rather, 3, and on the and of 3 just hit the open 5th string. That's buying you that split second that you need to move to this chord shape. 4th string, 4th fret, 3rd string, 5th fret. We're going to hit strings 4 and 3 and slide them up 1 fret. Yeah? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... On the and of 4, hit the 5th string again, and then hit the chord shape again, which is the first beat of the next bar. So far we've got this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Can you hear and 4 and 1 in there? Now you've got to slow slightly tricky thing. On the and of two, on the and of one, in other words, that we've begun this next bar. One and of two is the open fifth string, giving you time to try and move back to our original boogie shape. But the next thing you're going to do is hit the fourth string part of the boogie pattern. That's quite a tricky little change. So just be careful of that one. Practice it carefully. 2 and 3. 3 is back at the second fret, of course. Open fifth string. And 4 ander this time is the sixth string, third fret, middle finger. Open fifth string, so your middle finger comes away to open up the fifth string. Then it goes back down again as we play the sixth string, third fret again. Here are those two bars put back together. If it's followed by the A boogie pattern again, like this. That final little phrase. So we have two more licks to look at. The bottom line of your tab, bars 7 and 8. Bar 7 is another one over the chord of A, but this time you can't put it anywhere that you would normally play an A chord. It has to be on the bar before the 12-bar blues moves to a D chord. The bar before the D chord arrives, because the purpose of this little fill is specifically to link the chord of A to the chord of D. Here's the lick. And what I did was I went into a D chord boogie after that little fill, because on its own it makes no sense. It only makes sense when you hear it followed by the D chord. Listen to it again. You see that? How it needs that D chord to follow it. So, what it is a set of triplets. 1 and is open fifth string, third string at the second fret. So maybe now is the time to begin to encourage this index finger not only to hold down the fourth string, but also to hold down the third string as well. Fifth string, third string, fifth string. Then have the index finger come to the fifth string, second fret, and the ring finger to the third string, fourth fret, and play strings 5, 3, 5. Either all with pick, or with pick and finger playing the third string. Whichever you prefer. Bring that shape up one fret, do the same thing again. Bring that shape up one further fret and do it again. And then you'll be dropping into the D chord boogie. Alright, that's that one, and then finally one lick on the D chord itself. So you could use this next and last lick straight after the one we just played. Your D chord starts with 3 beats of normal boogie. 1 and 2 and 3 and on 4 ander we have a triplet. Now this is a slide on the 4th string. The note you want is the 4th string, 4th fret. So you could just play 4th string, 4th fret, 3rd string, 2nd fret, 3rd string, 4th fret. But if you can slide into that first note, so much the better. Do you see there's a line before that first 4 on the 4th string? A diagonal line. That's telling you to slide into it. And whenever the tab doesn't make it clear where you slide from, generally assume 2 frets below. So start on the 4th string, 2nd fret, using your ring finger, because that's the one you're going to want when it reaches the 4th fret. Pick it and immediately slide it to the 4th fret. And you're going to find that by keeping your eyes on the fret that you're sliding to, it's easier to have that finger stop where you want it. Now you're in the perfect position for your index finger to drop in on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and your ring finger now moves to the 3rd string, 4th fret. Let's imagine we're going to play bars 5 and 6 of the 12-bar blues, which are 2 bars of D. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play this lick, followed by a normal bar of D boogie, so you can see how they join together. And back to A. out new licks in. You get the idea. So, practice each of these licks over the 2 jam tracks that we've used so far, Rock Me and Blues Shuffle, and practice them randomly. Remember that less is more when you're playing blues rhythm, so don't feel that you should be stuffing little licks into every single bar. Let the boogie pattern do its nice laid-back job, and let your licks add little stabs of interest, little moments of interest. If you play them too much, you're going to lose that sense that they're doing something interesting, you know? Less is more with the blues. But throw them in random orders as you feel it. Get used to, get to know these licks so well that you can throw them in wherever you want to as you're playing along with a blues rhythm. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to pick Blues Shuffle, and I'm just going to play along with it, introducing these licks as and when they pop into my head, you know, in no particular order. So look out for them as we go through. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Don't let me stop you. You keep on playing, but I'm going to check out now and see you in the next lesson.